Thank you for joining us yet again. This is Sage from Kalkine with another informative, trending news topic from the news desk. The Media Bargaining Code faces strong criticism. Google search to be unavailable in Australia. Just after 24 hours of Google signing a deal to pay French publishers, Google Australia's boss Melanie Silva told a Senate committee that the company could pull its search engine out of Australia. Google says that the requirement to pay publishers for links and snippets in its search engine would produce too much risk for the business to continue operating in Australia. Google's threat to pull out of Australia comes as Google and Facebook clear their stand against attempts to further regulate them and their relationship with the local news media. Not just Google, but Facebook's Australia's Managing Director, Will Easton, too slammed the code as unworkable and repeated threats to pull news from its platform. Facebook and Google are not alone in their criticisms. Inventor of the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee, also stated that the code's provision for payment for links would undermine the fundamental principle of the ability to link freely on the web. While Berners-Lee didn't oppose the code outright, he unequivocally urged that the committee to remove this mechanism from the code. Google Australia boss is of the clear view that pulling out Google search from Australia would not just be a bad outcome for Google, but also for the Australian people, media diversity and the small businesses who use the products every day. But Google has clearly stated that the requirement to pay publishers for links and snippets in its search engine would produce too much risk for the business to continue operating it in Australia. Google published a video of the Google Australia boss Melanie Silva explaining the tenets of the company's arguments shortly after Silva appeared in front of the committee. The video clearly explains as to why it disagrees with parts of the code. Silva states in the video that the new law means Google would have to pay certain news companies to show links to their sites. She emphasises that Google does not show full news articles, but just shows where one can go and help to get there. Silva also proposes in the video that Google News Showcase product is a solution that would support Australian journalism and already operates in other countries. Google was promptly questioned over its tax obligations in Australia. Liberal Senator Andrew Bragg emphasised the fact that Australia puts a relatively light regulatory burden on Google currently, with the tech company paying just $59 million on $4 billion worth of revenue, or less than 1.5%. Silva said that hadn't been proposed before as an alternative, but that Google does pay a digital services tax elsewhere, albeit not in Australia. Last year, Google came to a $481 million settlement with the Australian Taxation Office, or the ATO, to finalise a decade-long dispute over its tax affairs. Thank you for your time watching. I hope you found this informative. This is Sage from Kalkine.